Uh-oh. Here, but is mute over there. So that's oh, he's saying something, but you got the thing going, but this says mute there. But yeah, mouth is moving, but that said, hey everybody, good to see
Well,
you. Now Bob will take over.
I muted it earlier and I didn't unmute it because I thought after the intro it would unmute itself and it didn't. So anyway, welcome to the Monday show, Bob Randall and Company. I'm Bob. As I said, this is Randy over here. Oh my goodness, what a way to start the day off, right?
Hey, you never know what's gonna happen. Everything's computers and everything's got a mind of their own anyway. That's okay. As long as you keep on going, that's all that matters. It's when something like that's not gonna defeat you. Just keep on going. Just
That's
have
just a
fun with
little
it.
bitty
That's all we can
glitch.
do. It's what our life's about is having fun. We want to bring smiles. That's all there is.
Yeah. Last Tuesday, the same kind of thing happened, but in reverse. Normally, when you go into anything in StreamYard, it automatically mutes everyone's microphone. And for some reason, it didn't mute. And me and Angie was talking between while something was playing and they could hear us. But hey, it happens. So, that's what life is all about. We just come on here, we do the best we
Yeah.
can, have fun with it, like you said. And it's Monday. What else can we
It's
ask for?
Monday, TGIM, folks. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. I
It
can
is.
relax.
It is. Got Deborah Kaiser on with us. Ernie's on. Looks like Santa Kevin's joining us today. Bill Coates is always one of the very first ones on YouTube, and he signs in early. Good to see you, Bill.
Great
All
to
right.
see
Well,
you.
fantastic. Talking about being fantastic, we were talking before the show. It's only 88 here today, which in most terms that's fairly decent weather, but it is a very humid day today. And our pollen count is through the roof, which we get that in
Mm.
fall time. Just have to deal with it. But I'm just glad to be out of the hundreds and don't see any of those coming back till next year.
Have to be glad you're out of the hundreds. That we were saying out back. That's I mean, you talking 100 plus. That's just dangerous to me. I just don't know how you. It's we were talking earlier about. That's like our zero sub-zero cold up here is dangerous. Yours over 100 is just think it's 100 degrees difference. We go below zero. You guys go over 100. That's
Uh,
crazy.
yeah.
But
Hey, and here's a thought that will provoke you. Think about those in the southern hemisphere. They have winter in July and summer
yeah.
in December.
That's right. It's backwards. It's backwards. Yeah, that's yeah. Australia, that they're in the middle of winter right now. Everybody's down there in the winter. Yeah, I guess you get. And is it true that the toilet goes the opposite way? It's not clockwise. It's
You know,
counterclockwise. The water.
I think it
I've
does. I
heard that.
think
I don't know
it
if
does.
that's true or not.
Because when you get to the equator, that's where the convergence zone, as they call it, is, where everything in the southern hemisphere spins one way, everything in the
Yeah.
northern hemisphere that spins
Yeah.
the other. So I would assume, and I have heard that same thing, that everything down there spins backwards. So I've never been. That's one of the few places outside of the United States, besides Canada, that I would like to go. And I've been to
Okay.
Canada.
Been again,
You
according.
know,
You like to
just
Australia? You like to go down to?
I would love to go to Australia. That'd be really cool. I just my biggest problem is, and I'm sure it would be the same for them if I were down there, me speaking Texan and them speaking Australian. Uh, just the accents are so different
So
between
different.
the way I speak and the way they speak. And there's a YouTube show that I watch, and this guy and his wife's down there right now doing some car shows and different things of that nature. And I watched about 10 minutes of one of their programs yesterday, and I could not hardly understand anything they were saying. It was just so hard with their accent. But it would still be cool to go down there and just have to listen really close at what they're saying.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of the barrier reefs and all that. I think it'd just be gorgeous. And they do have. I mean, I'd go like I'm never like same thing. I'm not a good traveler abroad. I would sure I'd like places I'd like to go. I'd like to see the Coliseum. I'd like to see the Eiffel Tower.
For
But
sure.
yeah, there's plenty of places here in the states that I feel safer to go see and before I go there. But Australia would be a neat place. It's such. I mean, it's so barren. So much of it. There's only you got the few chosen big cities, and the rest is just land. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Outback. But
outback.
that's the whole deal about not wanting to travel. As an American traveling outside of the United States, traveling to Asia or Europe or a lot of the other countries, especially the Middle East, as much as I would love to go to Jerusalem and see the wall and take in the sights, and it's just not safe for us now. You know, it's a
Not
different
safe.
world we live in.
That's
So
the problem. We're
uh,
just not.
I would love to go to Lapland and go to Santa's village there and go back to my roots in Ireland and Scotland and uh, Wales and check all that out. The castles. I mean, it'd be so much fun, but it costs too much money and
Yeah, just and it just I just always worry about what rights we have. We don't have a whole lot of rights here. Sometimes when we do something, you could be have problems, but then you're in another country, especially that's not maybe favorable to the U.S. That just would be I'd be. I have my passport, but I don't think I'm going to be doing it for a while anyway. So, but there are so many places that would be neat to see, and some people are huge, huge world travelers. I mean, that's what it's like. You went where? It's incredible what people have seen, around the world. But it doesn't concern them. One of my daughter's friends, she took a 2 month, a single lady 2 month backpacking tour around Europe by herself. Wow, that's just that's being pretty brave as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't do it as a guy, you
yeah.
know.
Just you have to really weigh your options on and know your area and be prepared for the worst. And I guess it's a chance you take. I don't
Yeah,
know. So I'm just going to stay put plunk right here and
yeah. I'm sure
enjoy
I could
our
find some.
48 states
Sure
of
I
the
could find some
South.
sand to put my toes in around here somewhere, you know.
Yeah. Maybe someday I'll get up to Alaska and get to Hawaii. But I've been to all the other 48 states. I've been all across the southern tier portions of Canada. I've been into Mexico and multiple places right across the border. Nothing too deep. But that was when I was younger and things weren't quite as volatile as they are now. So,
Yeah, that's yeah. I've
yeah.
been the Mexico and Tijuana stuff, but that was how many 40 years ago. And things aren't quite as, they weren't great then, but a lot better than they are now. You know.
No, that was stories of people getting abducted. If you go
Yeah,
more than 2 or 3 blocks inside and get
yeah,
too deep and things even back then. And so if you just went inside, shop the shops that were along the edge of the border and be extremely careful, then it wasn't as bad. But now, no way, no.
What did you say?
Yeah, really. All right, let's say
Um,
hi to Dana Prostrello. She's on. Charlie Johnson's joined us. Gary Linder, my brother, is on. Ernie Russo, we said earlier, is with us.
Great to see everybody. Always.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Hey,
joining us.
think about this. Angie got the Nightbot working for the Monday show. So again, if you want to go on and find out what your weather is for your area
Oh,
and share it with
cool.
everyone, you can go use the hashtag weather Nightbot, and we're going to have to get her to put those up on the Tuesday Night Live page where everybody can see what choices they have. And as time goes on, she's going to add to those. But at least she got us going on it. It's going to be a
Very
fun one
cool.
to play with.
Always wonderful, Angela, for doing stuff. And somebody said earlier, who said that earlier about hello to everybody, especially Angela? Who said that earlier? I gotta agree with that.
Santa Kevin, she said
There you
said
go.
that.
Then I knew that somebody said like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? It's
It's
that
that
time,
time
Randy.
already. It really is. It goes
Let's
quick.
jump into the hot topics and watch this video with that cheese running off that meat, those patties stacked so tall.
Get that napkin. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Mm.
man, I'm telling you. All right, here
All
we
over
go.
the place.
Okie dokie. Yeah,
All
we
right.
came out of that and unmuted me, so we're good. I always have to look down now to make sure I'm unmuted. All right. As always, we have the something burger. Show about nothing with a whole lot of something. This is where the something comes in. Hot topics for the day. Randy's got a great one as always. I'm gonna turn it over to him, let him go with this one, and see what you guys have to say in the chat.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bob. Thank you very much. It's we we go through this, or anybody, Mrs. Claus, Santa, every year when we talk to children. And I'm just curious the different sentences, and this is going to be the question, or how you handle this situation. What do you say to a child that said they told you last week or yesterday, whatever it may be, what they wanted for Christmas? Of course, it was another Santa. How do you respond to that? So, what do you say to a child when they said, "Hey, Santa, I told you last week or yesterday and what I wanted for Christmas"? Um, but of course, it was another Santa, of course. They were somewhere else. And how do you respond to that? What's your go to line? Or is there some type of deflection you'd like to do?
Well, you know what? Deflection is always a good policy to have ready. Keep it in your top pocket. If you need it, pull it out. Always ask a child a different question or divert to something different, and they'll kind of forget about it most of the time. And they're eager to answer and interact with Santa. So that one works. But for me, I have two. I had one in my early years and one in my latter years. The early years, I kind of got caught by surprise on this one. This is one of them that really kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies when they ask you because you think, "Oh, how am I going to lie my way out of this one?" Right? So I would just, used to say, well, Santa, I'm, everywhere. I'm always watching. I remember seeing you now that you mentioned it, but I see so many children. It's hard to remember sometimes, and I'm so sorry if I forgot what you wanted. Now, tell me again, what was the top two or three things that you had on your list? That sometimes worked in the early years. Sometimes you'd get those that would push back a little bit. Now, then, though, I use this one, and that is, well, you know what? I just wanted to make sure you hadn't changed your mind since I saw you the other day. Because children do that a lot. They may tell me they want a Hot Wheels, and then they see something that they like better, and they've decided, oh, well, they would rather have, fill in the blank. And that one seems to work better than all the others that I've used in the past. How
I,
about you, Randy?
I agree. That's the one I've deflected more with. Um, uh, I just want to double check, and either that or maybe you forgot to tell me something last week when we saw each other. Just want to make sure you didn't miss anything, and of course, always do me a big favor and send me a letter, email, fax me. I kind of rattle off all those weird things: fax, call, text. Oh, fax. We don't do fax anymore anyway, but children don't know what fax is. But just then deflect it. Just roll. I roll fast out of it by saying things like that. But yeah, that's one that's worked the best for me is that line about that. Um, just do it again in case you change your mind, or hey, you might have forgot something. I just want to make sure you've got everything on that list, the top three that mean the most to you. So yeah, that's to me the because it's always, of course, there's a big box store that I do, that you're in a big box store, and in the mall there's a Santa right there. So it's very, very, sometimes they go see that Santa, then they come and see you, me, or whoever the Santa is. So
That
it's
happens
very,
a
very
lot.
close. Um, so or if they have a party at school or they have whatever, the question's going to come up. That situation is going to come up, uh, probably numerous times throughout the season. And we just have to roll off. And I like the deflect thing after, get them off the subject and move on. What was that again? Santa's very old. I just want to make sure. And of course, I don't have a pen and paper now, and you didn't email me or text me, so do that for sure. Just keep on rambling sometimes. But that's
Randy, for me, that happens a lot because the closest Santa to me is only about 3.5, 4 miles away, and that is the big box store.
yeah.
So we're the only two on this side of town. And so they go over there for that free picture, and they come back for the group picture,
The real good
printed
photos and yeah,
larger picture and
right.
stuff from us a lot. So that's where the majority of mine come from. Now there is another mall that's not too far away. Right now, Santa Jojo is at that mall. That was the mall that Carl Anderson was there for 30 plus years,
Wow.
and folks would go over to see him, and he and I look nothing alike, even though we were both Santas. And I've got a lot of questions about that too. You mentioned earlier about facts. The thing is, you mentioned facts to children now, and they think you're wanting them to fact check you.
I never thought about that. I never thought about that. Yeah, I just say facts. Oh, that's right. Nobody does that anymore. But now, yeah, they might fact check you. Like, wait a minute, you're not the real Santa. The real Santa looks like this. You know,
Really.
I mean, but some children will say that just because a different pair of glasses. You don't have the same kind of glasses as the real Santa does. I mean, they might come up with that as an explanation to their eyes. But I mean, even start bleaching in 2 weeks, I'm still not going to look like Bob. Not going to look like Ernie. We're same character, but we're all look a little different. Of course, Bob's got a different verbal than I do, even though we're in two separate areas. We're all still a little different, and like you said, maybe I shouldn't use the word fact because I'll fact check and I'll be in trouble.
I've heard some Santas with the explanation of uh, Santa takes on many forms. He can look one way one minute, look another, which is taking that fantasy of Santa and taking it even further for children
Sure.
to understand. I think it's a little deep, but some guys have used that in the past. That
Yeah.
hey, just because you saw me here or saw me there, Santa takes on many forms and in many different places.
Yeah, I mean,
And of course,
I've never had a long beard like yours. I've never had. It's never gotten to that stage. Because I shave it off every year for the shows.
yeah,
But the children will say, well, "How come your beard's not longer?" I said, "Well, is it Christmas Eve yet? It's not quite Christmas Eve yet."
right.
So I mean, so we all going to look even that. Some are fuller, some aren't as full. Some are super white, some are not. We all look a little different that way.
You
So
just got to be prepared to have an answer ready no matter what the situation is. And that's where your training comes in. And,
yep,
and of course, there's always going to be that older child who says, well, I know you're just a Santa's helper. Well, that's okay too. I can accept that role. Yes, Santa can't be everywhere all the time. And I do report to him. And he and I are very close and he has trained me well. So you can always have an answer for that child too. But just always be prepared. You ready to jump in some of these
yeah.
comments over
I
here, Randy?
fucking make sure I jump into make sure I don't know who's. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to see who the top one is here. Just wanted to.
Thanks.
Oh, okay, I think
And
Santa
yeah,
Kevin is the top one. There we go. Santa Kevin says, "Just wanted to see if you changed your mind," which is a wonderful line. Very simple, very easy to remember.
it's
Um,
perfect.
and I always say, well, Santa changes his mind because I'm not always happy with the mind I have anyway. So Santa changes his mind a lot. Um, Santa Doug says, "Well, I have a lot of Santa's helpers, and that helpers hasn't gotten back with me on your request yet.
I have
Do you
used
want?
that one, but on a limited basis.
Yeah. Do you want to share it with me now? Do you want to share more with me now? That's yeah. So basically saying that was Santa's helper. You're the real Santa is kind of what you're saying, but good line. Ernie says, "Oh my goodness, could you remind me again? I've seen thousands of children, and I must have forgotten what you said." Good, good, good. Hello, Mark. Good to see you from Alabama. Good, good, good. Hello, Sean. Um, uh, Maybe the wrong address. Not sure what that is, Deborah, if that has to do with the thing or not, but um, um, oh, Mark, Roll Tide. Not sure about that.
Mark's over in Alabama, so he says roll
Oh,
tide.
Roll Tide. Okay. Um, Doug Wright says, "Good to see it. Uh, Change your mind is a good one. Since I do house visits, I get more of the sent you a letter, which I answer. I've not been back to the North Pole. I'm out visiting children like you. Can you remind me, or I'll check back with the letter I'll check back and read it when I get back." Um, yeah, you can definitely put that off if you're doing, oh, Santa's been out of town, I haven't read it, especially if you're doing house visits. But sometimes when they say, hey, I told you last week, um, and then you have to use it as their helper or something like that. My helper hasn't reported back with me.
Yeah,
Santa Tom, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've had them tell me they've sent me a letter before too, and I always use that same thing. Is it Mrs. Claus usually informs me of how many letters I have, but we don't really read them until we have time, and I haven't had time to do that yet.
Yeah. Um, Santa Tom says, hello, friends. Checking in from the Northwest Vancouver, Washington area. Whoops, checking in. Hey, Kane, good to see you. No late jits. You're not that late, Kane. Good to see you. Um, Mark says, we're winning this year. Um, and Santa Mark says, roll tide again.
Yeah.
Is that a city? I apologize. Is that a city?
No, that's what the college football is
Oh,
their battle cry theme song, Roll Tide, and
I
as
don't
he
want to make
says,
any bad.
they're winning this year.
It's
Yeah,
not like
Alabama.
Crimson Tide, is it? I don't mean to make anybody
That's
mad
it.
about a college.
That's
Okay,
yeah, that's it.
sorry, I'm
And
not
so
a.
Alabama is winning this year.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so that's what it is. That's what we're winning this year means. That's
Oh
good.
yeah,
That's
when
good.
Barry was co-host before he passed, first thing every Monday when we would talk before the show back in the room, that was he always had to tell me how Alabama was doing. He was a giant Alabama fan.
See, we got such a odd connection here between Michigan State people up here that it's uh you know.
Sus,
Uh,
we've got SMU here, got TCU over in Fort Worth. We've got other colleges as well in Denton, which is the county just north of Dallas Fort Worth. You got the Mean Green up there, so uh, it's the South is full of football. College
yeah,
is big, and
so
so choose your team.
yeah, that's
Of course,
uh,
got a team in Lubbock. Uh,
yeah, that's. I mean, especially if you went to that college or if that's your home city, it's got to be a help um the enthusiasm and
got
especially
the
if
Longhorns
your
in
alma
Austin. So
mater,
there's
especially
lots of college teams here in the South,
yeah,
especially in our area.
you got a lot of football teams down in college teams down in Texas. Well,
Sure.
Texas is half the United States anyway, pretty much square footage wise. Or
All right, so I'm
yeah,
sure everyone that's looking at the chat can see that Angie's playing with the Nightbot hashtag, and it throws in comments for you. You don't have to type it in. Pretty cool little deal she's been playing with.
very neat. That's a neat little thing to look at. That's very cool. Was it just a something StreamYard is brought out? Is that it?
It's
Or
actually YouTube. It's for
oh, YouTube.
YouTube. Facebook, I don't. It doesn't work on Facebook, right, Angie?
No,
Just on YouTube. It's a YouTube gadget.
Hmm.
It's called Nightbot, and it's just a bunch of hashtags, and it automatically has is pre-addressed to take you to uh, what is.
I program it for like certain
And
websites.
so the last one you put up was northpolecornerstones.com. Is that hashtag NPC?
Yes.
Okay, hashtag NPC, and automatically pulls up that and the website. So
Wow.
it's kind of like a QR code,
Yeah.
but a different way.
Wow.
Okay, Randy, I
Technology.
think the
Very good.
comments
Very good, guys.
have stopped coming in on that one. Let's go ahead and
Yep.
jump into the line here. We got
Got a
pet
good one.
night. I joke with my crew at the mall every year on pet night. I walk up to them and whisper in their ear, "Have I ever told you how much I hate pet night?" They'll laugh. Of course, they see me over smiling, having fun with those animals, but it's
Yeah.
just a joke that got started years ago, and I carry it from year to year. And most everyone loves pets, right? I mean, even the stinky ones. So here's my question: have you participated in a pet night event at the mall, box store, even at home visits? I had a home visit my second year that all the little girl talked about in a letter that she had sent me ahead of time through her father was about her dog. I get there, she talked about her cookies and stuff. I get there, we go through all the toys and all the fun stuff, and she bakes cookies and brings me cookies, and we're drinking cookies and milk. And I just happened to think about the dog's name, popped in my head. I asked where the dog was. They went up the back door, and here comes this giant, I mean, like a horse of a dog, runs in, jumps up on me, and the dad says, "Well, that's why we left him outside because he likes to be friendly. So be careful what you ask for." Anyway,
Yeah.
do any of you refuse to do so for various reasons, but mainly health or respiratory reasons? Now, some Santas at our age have respiratory problems, allergies, those sorts of things. So have you ever turned down a pet night? Because with the boat company that I'm with, they actually ask you in your contract. And if you refuse to do it or say that you can't for whatever reason, I'm not sure because I've never done it, but I assume that they will bring another Santa in for pet night, and or they'll arrange not to have pet night, which is a big draw for my mall. So I can't see how they would not bring someone in to do it to fill in for you.
Yeah, I see. I think if it's designated, at least for me, whenever I've been designated to do or done Pet Stop or what are those places are called, have a special suit designated for that. Since I do a big box stores too, a lot of people bring their pets into there. Now,
Right.
I don't like to hold the pets then for a couple reasons because I might have a better suit on, of course, than the pet night. I still do keep my lap blanket, for just in case. But to hold a pet with that much going on, to take a chance of nipping at you, not just that, but that's not why I tell it to the people. I tell them, well, there might be a child after me, and some of the dander or some of the thing might get on my fur. It might affect the next child. I use it for me because I might not want to hold it at that time because of my nicer suit. But those nights that we have a bench, or they can hold or whatever. Um, that I'll do with no problem. But a pet night, I mean, I've held snakes and birds and all those kind of things. But then I know the suit goes right to the cleaners, afterwards, and no real children are going to be sitting on my lap or being affected by it right after. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've refused because I haven't had a contract that said that. Might have. So because there could be. Didn't you do pigs or somebody? I remember said they held
Yeah.
pigs and
We had a
and
big,
all
yeah.
kinds of iguanas and everything else,
Mhm.
and things like that. Iguanas freak me out. I don't think I could hold one anyway. If I had somebody here hold it, I don't think I could.
Yeah. I'll still take the picture, but I want to make sure I'm not touching something I'm not going to
Yeah,
feel comfortable with.
yeah. That's
I have a Christmas tree skirt that I use. Of course, the photo company sends a third suit, which is our backup suit for pet night. It's a well used suit, you might say. But for me, and the reason that I whisper to my people about hating pet night, and they know the reason why I say it, is the cleanup. For me, I have two pairs of gloves. One I put on for pets, one I put on for child, and it's like child pet, child pet. So I'm constantly changing gloves. We got disinfectant spray that I spray. I have a lint roller that is one of those
mm,
sticky ones that I use on my
oh
arms
yeah, you
and,
have to
and
for any
upper
fur.
body if I get pet hair on me.
Yeah,
I have a belt brush that I use on my chair because it's a material. So it's a 5 minute cleanup between. And on pet night, when you got a long line and you got pet, child, pet, child, pet, child, it'd be different if you could do 4 or 5 pets and 4 or 5
right,
children.
right.
But it just seems to always work out that way. Anyway, I had more to that question. If so, what is your favorite pet to have in a visit, and what would be the most unusual pet or pet story that you want to share? That was just all wrapped into one question. While we're on the subject of snakes, Randy, I have not told anybody this. Last week, uh, Angie and Jada went to take the puppy out in the backyard. And of course, we have an 8 foot privacy fence, and part of it's 6 foot, but it's board on board. You can't see in, can't see out. And one of our cats outside, we got two outside cats, was acting kind of weird over here, and the dog noticed and realized that there is a large snake in our backyard. I'm talking somewhere between the 3 to 4 foot length and about as big around as a
No,
2 liter bottle.
no.
And Jada has always wanted to be a veterinarian, and so that's she's really into animals and knows a whole lot about them. She goes over and she says that's a uh, ball python. Obviously, it was somebody's pet that had gotten out, and had crawled under the one little spot in the corner where it meets the house, the
Right.
fence. There's a little bit of a gap for drainage. It must have came in there because that's where it was at. You talking about freaky? I was freaking out.
Oh, I don't blame you.
I'm thinking, how am I going to get this out of my backyard? It was late at night. We do have a gentleman that's in our city that will go out for free and pick up snakes, but it's in the middle of the night on like what was it, Sunday night?
Uh,
It was on the weekend. I know that. So anyway, went back out the next morning. It was gone. And we of course have been extremely careful in our backyard. We haven't seen it again. But anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. I
Wow.
just want to tell you about that big snake.
That's
That's the first time
crazy.
I've ever seen anything larger than a rat snake in this neighborhood. And
I to answer your
in
last
60
question,
years.
there probably has not been a favorite pet. I'm not a real pet fanatic, so I would never have a real favorite pet that I want to constantly hold. Um, yeah, they've been unique, but not never a favorite. Eh.
Mel says a lot of pet visits. And Charlie Johnson says, yes, at a dog park, wore my oldest suit and had a puppy pad sewn into a red towel on my lap. Now, those are good. A lot of guys use the puppy pads with the towel. That's a great way to ensure that if they tinkle, it doesn't soak through. Now, with my Christmas tree skirt, I can still get wet if one got too excited.
Yeah, you put a pad
Mel
right
says
right
she
in.
has a special suit just for pet visit. I'm sorry, Randy.
Yeah, there was a lot of people they have like it makes it like a pocket, almost like a pillowcase, and the puppy pad slides right in it like a pillowcase, and then it nothing will go through.
I love Sean's answer here. Now, this is cool. This happens at our traveling market. I'll let Santa hold the dogs and I hold the babies. I don't want animal hair on my outfit when I will be close with babies and children. That's true. Again, that's why I have to do so much prep work in between because I don't want to take any chances. Duck Wright, again, home visit Santa here. Yes, I get requests for pet photos. I carry with me in my ditty bag a towel that matches my suit so that if it's a lap dog, I can protect my suit. If it's a large dog, I position it in front of me between my legs. Same here, Doug. I had the privilege of having my photo with two bomb sniffing dogs who served in the Afghanistan war. They were the best behaved dogs and got some great shots. For me at the mall, we have our local police department as service animals, our police dogs that walk our mall constantly. And they come and get pictures with Santa too at times. And they are uh, perfectly behaved. I wish they could all be that easy and that well behaved. A lot of them are a handful. I've done a pet photo shoot every year. I've had lizards, dogs, cats, birds, geese, pigs, and partridge in a pear tree. That's Ernie. Yeah, we had. I've had pretty much all the same things, including a bunny. I haven't had a geese, but all the others I have hadn't had a partridge in a pear tree either. Mel says the big dopey dogs are my favorites. It jumped on me. Hang on. The most unusual pet was a kangaroo. Now that would be cool. A roo, that would be cool. Burmese python about 6 feet long. Santa Kevin, you're a better man than me if you helped it. I won't hold a snake. I'm scared of them. I know they can detect fear, and if I'm letting fear off, they're going to detect it, right? Boy, this keeps jumping on me here. See if I can go back up. Ernie says my favorite was when I had 9 in Belgium
Malinois.
Malinois puppies all at once, and boy, were they feisty. I think I've told this story before, Ernie. We had a family that comes every year. They didn't come last year. I don't think they came the year before, but up to then they had come every year that I had been there. But they had a bunny, they had a hairless cat, and they had like 7 dogs. And they put the bunny on one side, the cat on the other side, and the dogs would be in the middle. And I'm trying to hold 3 dogs because there's more dogs than humans. And the dogs always want to get the bunny or the cat. They don't want to leave. They're after those two for some reason. I guess I don't know. But anyway, sometimes it can be fun and a handful. Melissa Lynn says that scared the jingle bells out of me. Like I said, I don't like snakes, but kangaroo that'd be cool. But it's all right if it scares you. You just let the children or the adult get the picture and hold it. That way you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, the kangaroo, she says. I
Where do
figured that's
you
what she's talking about, Mel.
where do you get a kangaroo in Arkansas, Mel? I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't know where would you find a where did somebody have a kangaroo in Arkansas? Because it definitely wasn't here in Michigan, I don't think.
And I also mentioned the little pig that came one year, and a little girl that worked for me just had to hold it. And so when they handed the pig over to her, it took its hoof and caught her belly button piercing and ripped it out. She actually bled like a pig.
Oh,
I don't think she'll be holding any more pigs after that. She says at the Little Rock Zoo.
oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah, for sure. All right, Randy, good segment,
Wow.
fantastic time. Let's jump off into our SantaCloset.org.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by SantasCloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at SantasCloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Okay, Randy, before we get too deep into this real quick and everyone gets thinking about the trivia question, I want to mention that SantasCloset.org, Wade and Scarlett Toppin, will be in Michigan at the C.W. Howard during the C.W. Howard School. They are going to be at the Baymont Inn, 2200 West Wackerly Drive. That's in Midland, Michigan. They'll be opening by noon on Wednesday, October 9th, and be closing between 10 and 11. Also with them will be Sam at Santa and Company, LLC, at the Baymont. Sam and, of course, Tom Cordemelia, when he had Santa's Closet, always set up inside the Baymont Inn. And so just want to let you know there are more than one location to go see vendors up there this year with the Vendors Extravaganza and also the Baymont Inn. And that's where Scarlett and Wade will be. All right, winner's name goes in the hat for the NPC drawing. They also get a prize from SantasCloset.org. And Randy, throw these at them. It is Monday Fun Day Trivia.
Monday Fun Day is great because it's about the movies again, guys. It's movie trivia. Remember, we need two answers. We have two questions, two quotes, but we need the movie title and the year on both of these. Remember, the movie title and the year on both of these quotes. Quote number one, of course, Santa, the big man, the head honcho, the connection. Quote number two, Christmas, a time for Santa Claus and all his prancing reindeer. Bear. Sorry,
Bear.
Bear. Rain Bear, excuse me. Christmas time, Santa Claus and all his prancing reindeer. That's number two. And of course, number one, of course, Santa, the big man, the head honcho, the connection. We need the movie title and the year that it came out. Two quotes, two different movies, two classics.
Yeah, definitely.
To let you know,
And
also,
the last word there on the second one almost gives it away. If you know anything about the movies, that should be a trigger for you. All right, guys, working on that one. And while you're doing that, we're going to go ahead and play the Talbot Insurance Services video promo. And I want to say thank you to Larry Talbot, as well as Wade and Scarlett Kaufman for contributing to the Monday show. Of course, Larry contributes to all the shows on the platform, including the Tuesday Night Live show. And benefit of that is the network itself that he helped us set up, which contributes to the Wednesday show, which season ending. Wasn't that a great show for the Pringle Brothers? And then Santa Mel on her Magical Fellowship group also. Now, with all that said, we also want to thank them because they have become contributors to North Pole Cornerstones for February. So we'll talk more about that as time comes along. But first off, we want to say that North Pole Cornerstones, NPC, as we like to say, second annual session is to be held January 30th. I know I've been saying the 31st, right? But we've added a bonus day. Now it's 4 days. We have had such outpouring of folks wanting to be part of our school as presenters, as guest presenters, that we had to expand and add hours to be able to accommodate the great curriculum and topics that they're bringing to the table. So now it's January 30th to February 2nd, 4 days, $450 per person. That's all inclusive. Marriott Northwest, San Antonio, Texas. The hotel room is 152 plus, and that includes breakfast each morning, which is a buffet style. So let's just kind of go through what 4 days looks like here. We got 4 core instructors, all returning from last year. 9 guest presenters.
Wow, 9.
Entertainment night with milk and cookies. Team prop activity with hot cocoa and donuts. 6 meals. 5 of those are buffet style. 4 night out on the famous river walk and boat ride, singing Christmas carols. That's all inclusive. All that for the one price. To register, go to npccornerstones.com. Get registration now. And we are constantly updating the website over there. So if you haven't been over in a while, go over and check it out. We've got some new stuff up. And the curriculum is starting to we had a curriculum pretty much set for the 3 days, but now that we've expanded to 4, we've got some updating to do.
9. We're talking 13 instructors.
13
4
instructors.
core and 9 guests. 13. That's a phenomenal array of talent and knowledge that's going to be there. Phenomenal.
We had our first group meeting with our guest presenters this week. Most of them was there. There was a few that was not. We've got another meeting set up this next week. But Dr. Bruce Kotovich will be there as a guest presenter. Of course, Phineas, Mike Hutchins, we had already mentioned him as a guest presenter. And Joel LeCron, who is Santa JoJo, I mentioned at one of our malls over here. He is a professionally trained singer. And our entertainment night's going to include all 3 of those guys putting on performances for us while we have milk and cookies. So that's going to be fun.
A lot of entertainment with those 3 guys between JoJo and Bruce and his voice.
Okay, now then, Deanna Golden has been up in the upper PA. Her and her husband Kim go up there. They're from that area, and they live in Arizona, the Phoenix area. And they're packing the last 3 or 4 days, frantically trying to get ready to leave. They're headed back to Arizona because Santa Ana Holiday University has announced that they'll be in the Phoenix Scottsdale area September 26th through the 29th. And so she's got to head back there, pick up Judy at the airport, and they're going to put on a Santa Ana Holiday University class down there. That's again September 26th to the 29th. Everyone knows about Branson, right? 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th of 2025 with our keynote instructor, Lee Andrews. and a whole host of folks. You know, Larry Talbert's there every year. Larry's going to be at Norfolk Cornerstones also. He's going to be there as a vendor and a presenter, so that's going to be fun. Now then, let's get into our upcoming shows. Randy, you ready?
Wow. Again, just a action packed for the rest 7 or 8 shows left of the season is all there really is left. Tomorrow night, September 17th, is Jenny L. Watts. She's a website designer and a professional marketer. Um, got some great ideas how to get your website looking better, how to get it up on the Google thing, how to get your marketing so it's top notch and recognized. Be a great. You're not going to learn about these how to tell a child that about Santa's. You already told Santa what she wanted for Christmas. That's all about the market. That's still the business. That is the holiday business. So don't miss that. That's total necessity. And unless you're doing them all and you just sign a contract, that's all you do. But website design and marketing is necessity if you're going to do everything else. Then on September 24th, Mary and Sherry Davis, fantastic, performing Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Like I've said it so many times, it's always great to see and to learn that connection between the two, how one works off the other and everything else, how smoothly it goes. They are both alumni of North Pole Cornerstones well, actually not last year, which earlier this year, 2024, and of course School of Santas. So they've definitely had great education besides performing fantastic. It's always great to hear that. October 1st is Rachel Seipert. I hope that's right. Seipert is the author of a coffee table book all about Santa. It's all about it's something I think Bob you said that um, Gordon wanted to do a long time ago, or style to know
Yeah,
a picture of Santa and a brief description. It's not going to be the history of Santa. It's going to be about individuals. From what I hear, but it can be a wonderful coffee table. Maybe I don't know if it's done. If she's looking for more Santas, I'm not sure about that. But
I just know that she was last weekend, not this weekend we just got through, but last weekend up at the Santa Visitors Claus event that they had up y'all's way up. Trying to think where it was at, wherever it was. She was there and she was asking Santa to do interviews then. So I assume it's a work in progress. We will find out more though.
and then on the October 8th is Trish Parrish. I'm going to talk all about the Santa Family Reunion 2025. Such a huge event, fantastic event going on for then for the Santa Nana Reunion. That's Trish on the 8th. I messed
The
up and don't
15th
have
right now, Randy is kind of on hold. So I don't know if he was going to mention it or not, but who we had penciled in last week, that may be a maybe, may not. So we'll skip
Okay,
over
well, we
that.
will then just go. We'll just jump to August 22nd. There's only a week or so between the October 22nd, excuse me, for the roundtable. There's gonna be a roundtable, the 4th annual roundtable on the 22nd. That's always a great one to get going before the holiday season. A lot of a great panel to do. Then, of course, the week after that is the Halloween special, which is always a hoot. I got part of my costume the other day. I mail ordered part of it, so I got that started. Going to have some fun, dressing a little different this year. So it's going to be fun. That's October 29th. I think I got that right. Then can't believe November 5th is the last show of the year, Tuesday. Just this year, of course, it'll be back again after North Pole Cornerstones goes on in 2025. But come back and see us then. But the year goes by very fast. And with
It does.
all the great guests, all the information, of course, we'll always say it. It's always free to everybody that watches. I gotta say it, gotta do it, gotta bother people every week. That is free, and I mean, all you folks know that are here anyways. But it's amazing to think now what 152, 154 shows. Mind-boggling to think that it's going. I mean, it's closer to almost close to 200 shows. Next year it'll be 200 shows. Wow.
Yeah, when you
Because of that
figure
guy and the lady back there.
when
Thank you.
you consider in the remote ones that aren't considered episodes because they were
Right.
remote, we didn't actually include them as a episode. And then of course you add in tit for tat. Every Tuesday show has had a Monday show, so you're actually looking at over 300 shows in 4 seasons, and our seasons being from February to the end of October. So it's pretty remarkable that we're able to sustain and keep going and still have folks watching us. And we just appreciate everyone for staying
Yes.
with us, being part of this. It's always fun, and we enjoy it so much. Back to that coffee table book, though, real quick, Randy. Gordon actually included some of those stories in that fourth book, the Adamant, that he done.
Okay. In the back of the book, that's right. He had a picture of Santa
But
and a little description of everybody. Yeah.
he was actually in the process of put
Doing that.
nothing but Santa stories. How you got started, where you're headed, what you've done, your accomplishments. He even went as far as with some folks, if they had a very interesting career prior to becoming a Santa, then he asked them to include a small portion of that leading into the Santa portion. And I've got all that. It's on his computer, and I'm frantically trying to put together the new revised version of Santa and the Business Being Santa school itself. It took some time off, had to go through some legal stuff and get to where we needed to be. I mentioned this to Randy earlier, and I'll mention it here because the week after Norfolk Cornerstones, I've been invited to be the keynote speaker at Super Santa Sunday. I had to get that right. Super Santa Sunday in Virginia Beach,
A
Virginia,
lot of S's.
and teach the Sat Bob's course again. So I'm in the process. I spent 8.5 hours yesterday building a new PowerPoint for a new fresh beginning for the Sat Bob's course. So it's going to take time. Bear with me, and we'll get that set, get going, and then as soon as I get that under the way and get it finalized, then I'm going to start. We're also going to be republishing the books,
Wow.
combining the first 3 books into one book and making it one single course book, bringing the cost of tuition down and our cost on the backside to put these schools on with the cost of the books and all. It's going to simplify things. This is something that I had already talked to Gordon about before he passed, and he was all on board with revising because anything that is printed is only as good as the day it's printed. Stuff, printed material goes out of whack. Things change. Companies come, companies go. So there's a lot of stuff in the first 3 books that it can be taken out. Things that have been can be consolidated. It's some new topics that Gordon was working on can be added in there. So anyway, after that, then we're going to go after trying to do the 5th book, Gordon's 5th book. You get that finished up for him also. I've got a long road ahead of me, guys.
Yeah, boy, that sounds like a big task, but it'll be phenomenal when it's done. To revise all that. I mean, you put all them books together and it's that thick. I mean, there's a lot of information. You got more information besides from Gordon. Yeah, so that'll be you put all them books together. That's just one. Of course, that's just one book.
That's the red book. Then you've got 2 more books that equal more than the size of this, and then the 4th book is probably 3 times this size. So Randy's not exaggerating. And it's just, I mean, there is a wealth of information in these books. It's unbelievable. And again, it's going to be a big task, but it's something I promised Gordon I would work on. And unless I kick the bucket, then I'm going to continue working on it until I do kick the bucket. So,
Don't kick the bucket.
Kentucky. Did everyone get a chance to play the trivia? I mean, we didn't look like we had many answers coming in today.
We get
Did we ever get winner, Angie?
Yeah.
The one you told me?
Yeah.
Well, let's just give it to him then. All right, let's go ahead and give the answers here, Randy, and then we'll reveal who won it.
All righty, again, it's the Christmas quote, so you needed a movie and the year. The first quote is, of course, Santa the Big Man, the head honcho, the connection. That came from the movie A Christmas Story in 1983. Number 2 quote is, Christmas, a time for Santa Claus and his 8 prancing reindeer. That came from the Muppet Family Christmas in 1987. And the winner, of course, went to
CJ, Charlie Johnson.
Charlie Johnson. Woohoo, Charlie! Fastest hands in Michigan, I tell you, Charlie.
Yep,
So,
Charlie is.
congratulations.
Charlie's taking that Mr. Trivia title away from AJ.
Yeah, AJ just got it now. You brought it in, but a little too late there, AJ. Good to see you. Look, glad you're here, though, AJ. Glad you're here. Fantastic. These quotes are cool, though. I mean, they're just classic, classic movies that we know we'll sit by when we got time to sit down with the family and watch these every single year. You can't help but have your heart warmed by the Muppet Family Christmas. I mean, it's too cute.
It is hard though to get the word rain bear to come out of your mouth because you're so used to
I know that's why
it.
just doesn't. I know this is going to probably rile everybody here. I've never been a fan of the Christmas Story. Something about that never seemed to. The brutal beating and all, just something about all that stuff and a bully, and it never. And I never. I'll watch all the other movies, but that one just never seemed to. Oh well, it's a classic. I know it is. People love it, and of course, remember, now that it's owned, we cannot say you'll shoot your eye out. That is it is a copywritten line now. It's like reading the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer. You can't say, I want a red-eyed BB gun. No, Santa is not supposed to say anymore, you'll shoot your eye out. That is copyright infringement laws now do apply to that line. I know it sounds silly, but it does. That happened, I guess, last year or a year before last. That's when that happened. So it's a silly thing, but it's the way of the world.
The way of the world. Need I say more? I love that saying. All right, Randy, you ready to put a little Santa tips out there, Paul?
Yeah, sure. Let's do some tips. I got some ideas.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody, and thank you again for letting me do Santa's tips for you all. It's getting so close to holiday season. Can't believe it's the 16th of September already. I know some people say, well, that's not really that close. Some don't even start maybe till after Thanksgiving, but a fair amount are doing, of course, photo shoots in October or beginning first week in November. And so I go on. This time of year is when the season starts for me. And of course, it goes on all year, but I start making a timeline that I keep track of rather closely this time of year. For one thing, because it starts for my bleaching and everything else that goes along with getting prepared for my first performance this year is November 2nd. And whenever yours is to make a timeline to make sure we don't miss anything. The olden days, I remember years ago, I used to just a week before, pull the wig and beard out of the corner and dust the boots off, and that was it. But since this character and shows have evolved, it takes a lot more planning, not just watching Tuesday Night Live all year, and of course our show and everything else. But this time of year for me especially, and maybe for you folks too, is to get that timeline down. What I do is I start back from the way I set it up, because I have to do the bleaching from when my first performance is. Well, mine is November 2nd, like I said. And then I know it takes 3 bleachings for me to get my hair as white as the snow. So I have to start end of September. So that's because it takes a bleaching, 2 weeks later, another bleaching, 2 weeks later, another bleaching. If you don't want to lose your hair during the holiday season, you've got to get, even though I've got a lot of white in there, it takes a while to get it to the snow white. But there's so many other things, even if you don't have to bleach, there's so many other things that we have to make sure that we don't miss or don't forget. So I make a timeline for the middle of September that I go through all my other items. Do I have enough squeakers? Do I have enough giveaways? Do I have enough cards? So I'll make sure I order them. Now, sometimes I might order them earlier in the year, but I double check this time of year to make sure and I think I have on here, I put on here by the 16th of September, which is today, that I make sure all that stuff is ordered, that I have all cards, that I have the medallions I like to give away, the coins. They're going to take a few weeks to get here. That gets here in the middle of October. Now, in case they're a little back ordered, a little bit of mail's a little short, I don't want to be too freaked out to worry about starting in November and not having what I need. Other things I geek out is of course, I go shopping this time of year in the middle of September, first week in October. I say this is for till the 10th of October. I try to get whatever I have to do for Christmas shopping done. I know it sounds funny, but we all have Christmas shopping we have to do. And if some of you have a full-time job and doing Santa, Mrs. Claus, or a family to take care of, you might not have the time if you're doing both during your holiday season. So I make sure that by mid-October, my Christmas shopping is basically done. In fact, I was lucky enough yesterday. I spent the day up at Frankenmuth, Bronner's, and I went shopping yesterday and got some things that the step towards Christmas for my family, my daughters and grandsons and everything else. But just I keep a list. Some people can use a calendar. I did this years ago, just wrote it on a calendar by, whatever you want to do. Of course, now I use my phone. I put a date knowing today was the day that I had to have. And of course, I get a reminder on my phone in the morning. Why is my phone going off? Oh, that's right. I have to today get this done, or by today get it done. But there's so many things we have to make sure we get. We have to check our suits, make sure our fur looks good, make sure the buttons are sturdy. We don't want to do that a week before showtime. So set up your timeline before, so that's all done. Like because I use an array of different suits. On the side here, I put a clothing rack up and I make sure I have all my suits there. I check my buckles. I make sure my boots are cleaned. We should probably do that before we end of the season last year, but I like to double check this time of year. I make sure I have, these actually aren't the Santa glasses I use. These are the glasses I use. I'll make sure that I have 2 pair of these. Well, I looked the other day and I have 2 pair, but one are really wobbly and loose. I can't take the chance of having 1 pair of Santa glasses. So I've got to order them and make sure I get them here on time. Little things like batteries for your batteries for your watch. I use this watch as a prop, but besides it's a watch for me, I want to make sure that I have a new battery in there, that I'm ready to go before the season hits. It's just that pre-planning will stop any problem that happens, because there's so many things. It's any of our costuming and all that, or we can start it out. I mean, most of us promotion material we should have all year long anyway. But make sure that you have that with you. If you're going to pass out, where'd it go? There it is. You're going to pass out cards. Make sure you've got plenty of cards for this time of year. And it's the middle of September. You can get them on Vistaprint or wherever. You can get them in a week and a half, or if you know somebody. But you double check to make sure you have them. Make that timeline so it's not rushed at the last minute to get all these things. I just have to, because my mind gets too boggled, because 2 weeks out of October is full for Halloween stuff for me, magic and Halloween. So I lose 2 weeks in October as it is. So I have to really keep it set for the season. What else can I ramble on here? That's about it. But the biggest thing is, this is, I guess, the big thing for me also is anything, any of my hair products. Now, you might not bleach, you might not have to, but you're still going to need to worry about enough shampoo, enough conditioner. And especially with me, I need to bleach like crazy. Do I have enough protein? I go to Sally's and make sure I have all that kind of stuff. I purchased that before the season starts. I have that, I'm ready to go. And this is a big thing. We've talked about health before, is make sure, a week before my season starts, the end of October, I have it down for, I don't remember the dates in my phone, but I go make sure I get all my protein drinks. I make all my protein bars. I get all those things, all my vitamin water. So I have all that purchased for the holiday season. Instead of running out, the third weekend, I'm ready. I'm ready for the season. Come on, let's go. And then all I have to worry about the season is making the children smile. We've taught ourselves a new trick. We've taught ourselves how to do a new book, how to, have fun in a new book, how to animate a new book or something for the children. We've already learned that throughout the year. So we get all these things to the last minute done before the season. But make a timeline, put it on your phone, make the old fashioned printed out calendar if you have to. There's so many things to make sure, because it's Mrs. Claus does so many things, elves do, Santa does, then nothing gets forgotten. Then during the season, all that's left is for us to concentrate on making smiles. And that's what we want to do more than anything, is just make smiles throughout the year. All the worry, all the purchases, you don't have to worry about buying Christmas gifts. You don't have to worry about getting, oh my goodness, is that giveaway going to get here in time for my show on the 2nd of December? You already have it. Just be more organized through the year. It just takes away a lot of extra stress during the season. And then, like I said, the bottom line is just doing everything we can to make them smiles, to make those magical memories during the holidays. Thank you again for letting me ramble, but think about your timeline. Set it up to make sure you don't forget anything. Even loose buttons can be a problem. Just to let you know, I actually didn't check one of my buckles last year, and it broke just the second day I was using one of my buckles. Thank goodness I always have two, but then I ordered another one. So thank you guys again for letting me give you a little Santa's tips. Be prepared. What is that? Even though I wasn't a Cub Scout or whatever, I heard brownies are much better, but like real brownies are much better than so. But thank you guys very much. Looking good.
Ready, Randy.
Looking good.
All right, fantastic. Good job, Randy, as always. Love those informative tips, because a lot of guys don't start thinking this early ahead of what they may need or need to do, and it's important that you do it right now.
We all do this. I mean, everybody here is professionals and all that. Because there's so many other things going on in life, you can miss something. And if you line it out, and like I said, I color coordinate even on my phone when I make dates about what it is. It's so I know that bleaching means this, and it comes up that date, so on and so forth. Because then what are the Google Planner or whatever heck it is calendar, you're allowed to have like 12 different colors, so you can really keep track of things like this. The dates that something's got to be done by, and we've got a lot to do. It's not like the olden days. So to me, you dust off your Santa suit, you take it out of the closet, a day or two before your season. No.
And you get behind, it's a snowball effect,
Yeah.
So stay on top of things and get prepared, be prepared. Be ready to go when the time calls. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our Santa's Vintage Toy Walk for this week. Hey, now, I mentioned last week we might do something a little bit different. We did. We decided to go 20s, 30s, 40s, and 70s this week. So let's go ahead and roll this, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Cool.
And
Oh, goodness.
you putting your nose and hat on, so I had to throw something on too. I ran like crazy to grab that hat. I didn't have time to put the glasses on. I just barely got set back down here.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, kind of fun. A gyroscope top from the 1920s. That was pretty neat. Those are always
That was,
fun. A spinning top, which became more popular later on, as time went on, which was a great toy for a child. The Lincoln Logs. I think we might have mentioned Lincoln
yeah.
Logs before, but those were a ton of fun. It was another one of those I didn't get tired of building and playing and creating things with the Lincoln Logs.
They're coming
You
back
mentioned
like
the Red Ryder
crazy,
BB
Lincoln
gun
Logs.
earlier.
They
What's
coming
that?
back. The Lincoln Logs are coming back like crazy. The big box store has they put a table out the last few years of just Lincoln Logs, and children
Uh-huh.
play with them like crazy. And you're buying a big, like a bucket, like a big bucket full now. Of course, it's far more than that price, but it's classic. Of course, there's the Red Ryder BB gun. Was it
It
$2
is
and some odd cents, something like that, 2.98 or wow.
1940s when it came out, and there was actually a predecessor to that by another company in the 30s, but most people recognize the Red Ryder because of the movie, and since it tied in with what we already had going. And then the Atari gaming console. Yeah. 1970s. Can you believe it's been that long ago? I mean,
Not
1970s.
long ago.
And of
50.
course, then there was the Genesis, I believe, was another gaming console that came out right around the same time.
There
And
was
then Atari
Odyssey was
started going from the 5200 to the 2600 to different models. And I mean, they progressed within the next 10 years, gaming made such a big leap and bounds. And, then you had Frogger and you had Centipede and you had, all the different tables, and the arcades started putting the commercial version of them in. And really cool. We had a putt putt, which was a golf and games up the street from us here, across the street from our barbecue restaurant that we had. And they had all those cool table games. Spent lots of time in there dropping quarters.
good old Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
And now Atari is Atari even around anymore? I don't think they even make games, do
Yes.
they? They
Yes.
do?
What they've done is there's a couple of companies that have taken and bought a bunch of
Okay.
gaming and or refurbishing them and reselling them as a refurbished package. But yes, you can still buy them.
Those gear shifts never lasted though. You were yanking on those things like crazy. That
Yep.
button just
Definitely. Well,
oh
anyway,
goodness.
that's a fun look back on some of the vintage
Oh
toys from
man.
our past. Of course, like I said, most of us are 50s, 60s, 70s children. And so the 20s and 30s was kind of before our time, but it's kind of cool to look back to think that Lincoln Logs had been around since the 30s. I mean, I had no idea. I expected that to be a toy from like the 50s or 60s. And sure enough, it was 1930s when it came out. So, okay,
Yeah.
Randy. Well, fantastic show as always. We have fun with this and enjoy it every Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. Get out and enjoy it, everyone.
There was one comment there from Doug, if you want to read it.
Where?
Oh, Doug. Got the
Doug
top.
what? Got the top and the logs in the 60s. My dad gave me his BB gun he's gotten when he was a child in the late 60s. I missed the video game craze. Yeah, Doug, and I'm sure you was just like the rest of us. You spent time in front of those gaming tables, dropping quarters. I had mentioned that I got the little home version of the pinball machine, and pinball was my favorite
Pinball was
for
great.
years and years and years. And, there's still places, matter of fact, there's a couple of places here in our, in Dallas that has rebuilt pinball machines and gaming machines. It's a regular, new, nice, fancy game room with all the old, favorites from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Being pinball and the like I said, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, all the different games. Anyway, fantastic guys. We want to thank everyone for dropping in with us today. We love doing these shows. We love being able to pass along information. And the fun part about passing along information, and we don't charge you nothing for it. Just show up, participate through the chat, and we love everyone being able to put in their 2 cents worth, because it's even your 2 cents is worth a whole lot more than that.
And it's fantastic. All the people, all you folks that get involved and put your ideas, your experiences up, and the talent we have here that watch is phenomenal. It's great to see that. And you can watch it later again, that you missed something. Oh, it's always there on YouTube. It's always on Facebook. It'll always be there for future viewing.
Everett
Yeah.
just joined us.
What's that?
Everett just joined us.
Well, Everett. Yeah, he caught us at the tail end here. Well, Everett, we're fixing to sign off. You can go watch the replay on it. Dana can fill you in on what you missed, but I want to thank everyone again for coming along and taking this ride on Monday with us. We appreciate you very much. As Randy mentioned, I think we've got like 7 shows left, something like that. I lost count, but anyway, we'll
So
be back here.
fast.
Hey, we're only three subscriptions from 400 on Tuesday.
3.
Only 3. We need 3 more to hit that 400 mark, and that's a little bit of a milestone for us. So,
Wow.
thanks, everyone. Randy, have a good day.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Love you all. See ya. Stay safe.